Welcome to Inktober week 2, everyone. As some of you may know that I have given myself a different theme this year for Inktober. So along with the official prompt list that Jake Parker posts every year, I've given myself the theme Indian mythology, and I am trying to interpret every word from the prompt list in a way that I can tell you a story from the Indian mythology through my sketches and on my blog too. So if you have not yet visited lingeringviews.com, you must. And now let's get started. The word for the second week, first day, was star. And so I've drawn this story of Dhruv Bar. Bar means baby. And he was a big devotee of Lord Vishnu. And later on, he was granted a boon that would turn him into the star. Most of us know it as the pole star, and in Indian mythology or even in India we call it the Dhruv Tara. It's named after him. So this is the sketch that I had made. I can see the transition from the first week to the second because I've gone so much more in detail over here. My strokes have become so much more bold and confident here. I have made so many mistakes, obviously over the second week also, but somewhere everything has turned out to be so great. So the second week has definitely been better than the first, and this is the first day of week 2. Lord Vishnu is depicted with 4 hands, and together we call them Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So he has the conch shell, he has the Sudarshan Chakra, he has his Gada, which is his weapon, and his lotus in his hands. Moving on to the next. The second word of the week was precious, and so I drew goddess Saraswati. I think most people would call money precious, but for me I think it's knowledge. She is the goddess of knowledge, wisdom. I can see in this sketch itself that I have thought about it so much, and you can see it through this. I haven't done a lot when it comes to the borders or this blank space, but if you look at her, I think this has to be my favorite so far. She has a very interesting story. She's a very important part of our Indian mythology, so you must head to the blog to read about her a little bit more in detail. The next word was flow, and here is a story about how goddess Ganga came onto the earth. So some of you may know that Ganga is one of our sacred rivers in India, but there is a very interesting story that shows how she came on earth and she wasn't very happy about it. So here I've depicted Lord Shiva trying to calm her by taking her fierce flow into his matted hair. Here, if you can see, I've made the border like water, and I've also toyed around with mountains and clouds and drops, but overall this has come out to be very simple compared to the first two, which is fine. The next word was cruel, and this is Shakuni, a character from our epic Mahabharata. Now it's a very complicated character, so I won't be getting into that much. He was very good at any dice game. See, I've given a border of the dice. In his hands he has the dice, and these are also the 2 dices. This is the board game. It plays a very huge role in the epic, this entire game and this character. Moving on to the next. The word for this day was whale, and I interpreted it as fish, and I'm back to the intricate art work over here. There are wheels and flowers around the border. There's an ocean here with a boat, And this is Lord Vishnu in his first out of the 10 incarnations that he took, which is called Matsya, which means fish. So again he has his weapons, and the fish has a horn which is connected to the boat by a snake. It's a very, very interesting story and you must read it. It's already on the blog, so go ahead over there. I think it's come out well because I've given a good balance of thick and thin strokes and color wherever it's required. Moving on to the next. This is one of my favorite now, apart from the Saraswati. The word for this one was guarded, and this is one of the most guarded positions of the gods, it is said. This is the Kalpataru or Kalpavruksha, which means the wishing tree. And it is said that whatever the wisher wishes for with all of his heart, the tree grants it to him. And this has a special place in my heart because I relate this concept of a wishing tree with my grandmother. In our scriptures, it's said that the Kalpataru is made out of the most precious gems and stones and leaves of gold and precious metal. It's a very beautiful concept, I think. Moving on to the next. This is the last of the second week, and the word for this day was time. And I've drawn the 4 yug. That means era, according to the Indian mythology. So this is Satya Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug and Kali Yug. This is the yug that we are currently living in. It's a very complicated concept, so I haven't gone into its details even in the blog, nor am I going to get into its details now. But in brief, this is Satya Yug. And in the Satya Yug, it's said that people always speak the truth, which means Satya, which is why it's named like that. Their aim is to be close to God, and everything that they wish for, they don't need to work for anything. Anything that they wish for is granted by prayers itself. Then comes Treta Yug. The difference between these two mainly is the climatic changes that take place in the Treta Yug. So because of these changes, then we have mountains and deserts and rivers and streams, oceans and all of that. People have started becoming more materialistic in this era. And although they do worship God, they also are close to the things that they achieve. Then comes Dwapar Yug. This concept is that I have drawn a nice design on the outer part of the circle, and inside I have drawn arrows, which means that everything does go nice most of the times, but people have ulterior motives. So while they may be good and polite, they may actually have some other intentions. So this is the Dwapar Yuga in short. And Kali Yuga, I've just drawn a face which symbolizes evil. And I know there's too much good in the world to draw it like this. But this is what the scriptures say, that evil will be on the rise, violence will be on the rise. And that's it. These were the 7 sketches of week 2 of Inktober. Let me know in the comments section below how you feel about it. And looking forward to the next video. See you then. Bye.